comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So I did my first show of the fucking Melbourne International Comedy Festival. But who really gives a fuck about that? Really, what this was the first show I've ever done to, fans. It's the first time I've had people come out specifically to see me. What a fucking treat it was. Thanks to everyone who came out. It wasn't a huge crowd, but it was fucking great. And I was nervous as well. Like the last 3 or 4 days I've been doing my fucking head in. Because I'm like, it's going to be the listeners of the podcast out there. And I don't really feel like disappointing them. Like that's been in my fucking head for weeks. There's a difference between just doing a gig somewhere. Who fucking cares? I should probably have a better attitude than that. But seriously, who gives a fuck about the general public? The general public can fucking eat my ass. That's how I feel about the general fucking public. But I knew this was going to be people coming to see me. It's the first time in my career that's happened. Some people have come to shows, but this was my show and my fucking crowd. And I was fucking cooking myself, fucking worried about this show. I wasn't sure if it's all going to come together. I'm like, is my fucking voice even going to sound natural? It was a different type of pressure. Normally, you don't really have anything to lose. If you bomb, you're like, yeah, well, fuck them. I couldn't go in with that attitude tonight. It was more like, I want to deliver something decent. I don't want to disappoint. And so before the show, I was fucking real nervous. This first one meant a lot to me. And it was just a fucking absolute treat. It was a fucking treat to perform to people that are already on board, that fucking have the same sense of humor. Every fucking show I've ever done in my entire life, it's been a fucking war against the audience. They usually fucking hate you immediately. Well, they hate me immediately. And then I start doing my shit, and then they really hate me. So then you've got to write good jokes to overcome that shit. But tonight it was just so fucking nice. Not to have that fucking antagonistic fucking relationship with the audience. It's a little bit hard to explain, but for example, tonight, some of the shit I did that crowds normally pull back from, they start getting a little bit uncomfortable. Well, tonight, that was the stuff that fucking everyone was on board with the most. It was just... I don't think you understand. It's been fucking 10 years of just war. And tonight it was just so fucking nice to have cunts with the same fucking sense of humor as me. And I think I've got a half decent show there. That was the first time I've ever done it in full to an audience. So it's still a little bit clunky. But now I know where to iron out some shit, add some shit, change some shit. I think after these shows and then the Sydney shows and then Edinburgh, I'm going to have a fucking half-decent show. But even though it was a small crowd, it was my first show. It was a highlight of my career. It wouldn't have seemed like much to an outsider looking in, but fucking to me, it was very fucking important. I walked home after the gig and I just wanted to think about it. I wanted fucking to have some gratitude. And on the walk back, I passed this venue that I used to go to not even that long ago, 4 years ago, which is 2 years before fucking COVID hit. And I used to do music open mics there. I would get up and do comedy between some cunt on a banjo and some fucking emo chick singing fucking Zombie or something. And so I walked past that venue and I just looked at it and I'm like, well, it fucking might not have been anything to anyone else, but to me, that was something. And another fucking treat was meeting everyone afterwards. That was another thing I was fucking nervous about because you cunts know every fucking detail of my goddamn fucking life. And in the back of my mind, I was like, is it going to be weird? But it wasn't weird. It was just fucking nice. It was all love. It was fucking great meeting people and having a chat. I look forward to doing more of it. And here's the fucking cherry on top of the fucking icing on the fucking cake. One of the listeners before the show, he's like, hey, Boyle, here's a present. And I'm like, what? And he hands me a parcel and he goes, it's a Terence McKenna dose. So now I've got 5 or 6 grams of mushrooms as well. Cheers to the listener who gave me that. I appreciate it. And I'm going to be honest, you look like you know your shrooms. So I look forward to an experience on these fuckers. My mate Sconnor came out as well. I hadn't seen him in a few years, and he just got out of jail like 8 months ago, so it was good catching up with him. All round, it was just like a landmark night for me. It might not have seemed like much, but to me, it was much. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who came out tonight. You made the night fucking special for me. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you all out there as well. It's a fucking treat for me. Anyway, that's it for tonight. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a share around, and I'll see ya the fuck later.